Why's it so loud?
Good grief. Good grief. Yeah, that's better. Hey, check, check. Check, check. All right, that's a little better. I was having mic problems, and I can't have that. Murphy, I know I'm working on this stuff, man. Come on. Come on, Murphy. Murphy, come on. Don't get up upset, Murphy. You only got one kitten left in the house. You're gonna be alright. Hey. Murphy, Murphy, how are you? Hi. I gotta do a show, Murph. Well, what? Give me a second. Oh my gosh. Murph, I'm gonna interview you in an upcoming episode. You what? Hi, buddy. All right, some hugs before the show starts, but you gotta get out of here. I gotta shut the door and I know you love the show, but everybody else in the house gets annoyed because I make too much noise. And I say, Murphy, Murphy, what you gonna do? Murphy, 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 is it gonna be okay? You're such a good cat, Murphy. Murphy, come on. Hi, Amber. Oh. I'm working on it, Murph. I know. Wait, if I turn the music off, they're going to hear you. How about you like that? They're just going to hear you caterwauling. Listen to this. What? What you doing, Murph? What are you doing? Come here. I know. I'm picking you up. What are you doing? You know what? Fine. Be that way. We'll just start early. See if I care. Yeah. I mean, I'm early or late. Murphy wanted to be on the show today. I know. You just can't. You're crawling around underneath my feet. I know. And you need attention. And I understand why. Because all the kittens. Hold on. I'll be right back in 1 second. I have to I'll be right back. Hold on. Almost there. It won't be this long. Hold on. Okay. Come here, you. No. Oh, Jordan, you getting a drink of water? You want to say bye, Jordan? At the top of the show? All right, here we go. Watch out, Murph. Get back. I know. I'm going to show everybody Jordan's about to take off. He's got to go. Here we go. There we go. Sorry, I had to go get another cat, everybody. There he is. Jordan. Jordan is leaving us today. He's going to his forever home. He's going to forever home. He's got a nice, happy family. He's going to take care of him. And he just got he got broken yesterday, so he's no longer able to make more cats. Again, yeah. Hi, yeah. You want to just hang out? Just look at the green screen, just chill. Oh, thanks. So yeah, this is the third one. The last one, who we were calling Hobbs, but the new owners want to call Chuck, is staying with us for a few more days. but he'll be alone in the house. And then, of course, Murph does not approve. So hold on. Let me pass this one off. Yes, we'll miss the kitties. Camden was very emotional about the leaving of the kitties.
There's always more.
There's always more. Yeah, it's a high turnover game. Oh, Flang Doodle, I guess you could do Games Without Frontiers. That's okay. I know, Murph. Oh my gosh, Murph, calm. Yeah, no, we're keeping them in different stratospheres. There you go. Bye. Bye, Jordan, forever. Love you. Bye. Murph, see him out. Yeah. Okay. Oh my gosh. The kitten drama today. Oh. So the kittens are all splitting. So, hey, Trina. This has been an ongoing endeavor, but we've got, we've got one kitten. They've all been adopted. We had 4 of them. We got out of the cinder blocks out back, and we've got all 4 of them are adopted now. They've got forever homes. The 4th one, the orange one, who we were calling Hobbs. You can visit with him later on, probably. He was, we were calling him Hobbs. They've named him Chuck. And so when we adopt them, people name them, and so you have to adapt them to the name that they were doing, like cats give a shit, because cats don't care about their names, right? But they're super sweet. Thanks, Raphael. Yeah, I'm going to need a coffee after all this. Holy smokes. I'm not the president? Yeah, I am. What are you talking about? Of course I'm the president. What a weird thing to say. It had to be Facebook. Yeah, it's Facebook. Go figure. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the Facebook people can tell me why, in particular, Facebook is flooded with conspiratorial nudnik psychopaths. Thank you, Philly Dana. Oh, the hours we keep feeding and keeping these cats alive. Criminy. Give me a second. I'm going to open the feed on. Look at the wisp on the hair today. This is ridiculous. I look like. Well, it's the other direction. I think I'm running. All right. Yeah. It's for all the people who think I don't know what the thing about supposedly I'm wearing a wig comes from, but it's just COVID hair. So everybody, welcome. Glad you could be here. Happy to have you with me today. So I saw, as many of you saw, hold on. Turn the power down on that, and then we'll take the audio off. And then my in focus is such a weird thing. Okay, so we'll do this. And then that way I can pop out the chat on there. And if anybody starts acting a fool, I can do something about it. So, yeah. But hi, yeah, there we go. All right, so today, first of all, normally I start off with whatever the speech of the day is and all that kind of stuff. And is the sound okay? It looks a little hot on my end. Mike's all right? Does that sound okay? Sounds pretty good in general, I think. Is there we'll
person,
do a test.
Woman, man, camera, TV.
Yeah, could you hear that? Is everything sound okay? So obviously thanks, Kesse. I love me and queer as folk too. I'm glad you enjoy it. And thanks, Mike. I'm glad you guys like the Sexy Liberal Show. We have now scheduled officially one every month till the end of the year. They were on the fence about whether or not to do one for December, and I have suggested I'm for it. You know me. The more shows, the better. But I want to do a Christmas special, like a holiday special. We're inclusive. Holiday special, and every present we open up says Biden won. I don't quite have Farrah Fawcett hair yet, but I will. I'll get there eventually. I just, when I had long hair before, during this growth period, this is about the time you put in extensions to get you to about here, and then everybody just gets used to. Megan, thank you. Well, maybe I can expand that. That's a good problem to have. I had no idea. Thanks for letting me know. I'm so new to all this stuff. Yeah, person, woman, man, camera, TV sounds like a Talking Heads song. I agree. Plus, I'm not a Talking Heads fan. I think they're a novelty act. But this is for the shows that we have when the world goes back to normal. Yes, when we get into fights about whether Harry Potter is about royalty and therefore is fundamentally undemocratic and plays into racist ideas of genetic powers passed on father to son, which is always creepy, or if it's about learning and education and that we all have innate skills, and if you're taught, you can do but then there are muggles, aren't there? It's a heresy. Yes, that's that's the fights I'd rather get into. How right after Trump Davis speech yesterday about washing your hands, wearing a mask, social distancing, he was out playing baseball with children, no mask, no social distancing. Oh, I wouldn't say he was playing baseball. Because do we have, hold on, because I picked up some of the pictures of Trump opening day baseball. Yikes. Yeah, we'll find some images in the last couple of days. Like, let's see, I'll open this one in its own, open link in a new tab, that'll work. And then this one, okay. So I wouldn't, that's a good one. And why is he doing that? Not that one, this one. I'll find them. Here you go. This is a good one. And I'll open it up. I have to open these into new tabs so you can see the whole thing. But they made, oh yeah, there it is. That'll do. So yeah, I don't know that I would say he's so much like played baseball as had minor panic attacks as someone threw a ball at him. Like this is one of those, this isn't so hard, I could totally do this. And that's a little high. And this kid's doing this is no problem. Get a good picture of me in front of the White House acting like I'm throwing. That's a good one. And let's just, yeah, one ball's enough. I'm going to go inside. I look dumb enough for the week. I'm taller than most of the people here. Get off my lawn. Oh, no, not baseball. So, yeah, I don't know so much about the pitching and catching situation. I mean, granted, his father couldn't stand him, so and apparently his father couldn't stand anyone, but definitely not enough to like go playing with him. So, yikes! Hey, Gonzo, I gotta say, glad I found you again. That's great. It's a good time. So let me start today with they took all those pictures of him going, and like all these Jiminy Glick faces that he was making. And they made a video out of it. Because understand what all these are. All these situations where they have, they'll do these big, elaborate jobs, like he'll meet with farmers, he'll meet with pharmaceutical execs, he'll have these round tables, and in the round tables it's just a bunch of people airing their grievance in a circle, and then he leaves. There's no crosstalk or discussion or work about unless he randomly is talking to a potato farmer
You
and
have
says
nobody guarding your potatoes.
that kind of stuff. Like they have a chit chat about whether or not you could grow Idaho potatoes in New Hampshire, like that kind of stuff. It's just embarrassing. So, and let's see, And by the way, thank you to all our Patreon supporters. You guys make the show happen. Thank you so much. And our super chatters. And I love you guys. There. Now we'll get started. Okay, so they took all that footage of him stumbling all over the place, and they made these propaganda videos with music playing behind it. Yeah. This is what they make of them. Every time they do one of these things, if it'll play. Let's see. Play. What's wrong with you? Oh no, we've been attacked. All right, I'll reload it. Give me 1 second. Why is that not working? You rat, you. Hold on. So, reload. I can handle this. I can get by this. I've had worse technical issues. There it is. Here it comes, America. Give me the glove, I'll throw the ball and throw it back. Don't show how I caught it. Show the same throw again, cause it was pretty good. The one good catch. Then we'll talk about baseball. Give you a thumbs up and take a picture with the kids. And now it's time for a sandwich. Like that's the whole, thanks, Koi Gonzo. That's the whole they managed to take like a 20-minute get together and put this on oh, my mom's trying to FaceTime right now. I can't, Mom, I can't FaceTime right now. I'm on a show. I'm doing my show, Mom. So this isn't the only one of these they do. Like they had an entire meeting. The White House puts out tons of these things. So they had like, let's see, these are the newest ones. So the First Lady, Melania Trump, had a briefing with the task force. And they turned it into 53 seconds. They turned it into a 53-second commercial. By the way, fabulous outfit.
When I look around this room, I see so many people who have made the well-being of children their life's work. One of the pillars of my Be Best initiative is children well.
Pillars. It's okay. She speaks multiple languages. It's okay. Some people don't get plural.
Being. Native American children, like all children, deserve to grow up in a...
By the way, she recreated it. They do this for him too. They go back and read it in a little VO booth and recreate the speech. And then they find a clip where the mouth lines up. They have a real hard time with Trump. I'm guessing that it's easier to do the lineup with this.
Supportive, nurturing environment.
See, because when they cut back away from it, it's clear her mouth is not moving in sync with that.
The Indian Health Service is an important part of America's healthcare, and I know that many IHS staff are passionate about their mission and the communities they serve.
Yes, that they would rather their people not die. What a strange and novel concept.
However, systematic problems can put children at risk, and I share the President's commitment to making sure the Indian Health Service uses best practices to keep children safe.
Yeah, if you share his intent in this circumstance, then why are you there as the First Lady and not Mike Pence, who's heading the task force? This is weird. I mean, I don't fault her for going. They sent her. She actually probably cares. I mean, she's a birther, so it's but that said, you know, a mom, probably not a complete monster, but it is something that speaks to, like, I share the President's commitment to this. And you're like, well, if he had a commitment to it, why is no one from the actual task force there? She's not on the task force. Be bestes. Excellent graphics. Good grief. No masks, right. We worry that they will pick up a disease from a highly diseased area where people don't believe in wearing masks and take it home to where they're going. So they make these little, like, mini videos of these. It's just embarrassing. And they're a minute long. like, and they fix his speeches. Like,
I mean,
remember
we
we did
have
this
removed
one?
the gigantic regulatory
Remember the big cardboard weights and all that kind of stuff? They recreate
burden
this.
Americans have been
Get that big crane in here for those giant cardboard weights. We're showing on one hand that there's one truck is weighted down and the other we're lifting the weights up out of the. Either way, it looks like an ad for Built Ford Tough.
forced to carry for decades. The American people know best how to run their own lives. They don't need Washington bureaucrats controlling their every move.
Nobody controls everyone's every move. Yeah, see, it's got Trump administration written on the crane because nobody could tell that. Oh, it's totally propaganda. These are absolutely propaganda videos. But they're so ham-handed and ridiculous, I just don't think they have any weight. Like, I mean, honestly, how can you have Mein Kampf on your nightstand for years and never learn anything?
Regulation we cut.
See, what happened was, we are the crane.
We are not only returning the money and the power to our citizens, we are draining the Washington swamp under my administration.
See that? His mouth lined up with that sentence, so they kept that. But everything else,
We have removed.
yeah, this is totally like putting his name on the checks. By the way, these are all executive orders. There's no power behind them unless they are actually turned into legislation or tested in the courts. Just like the shit he's going to talk about today.
Nearly 25,000 pages of.
No, Goebbels would be embarrassed by this. Did you learn nothing?
Stop destroying regulations.
We're so glad you were able to put two words together just like because. And I'd like to finish by saying, person, woman, man, camera, TV. Good night.
After 40 years of over-regulation,
Yeah, we constantly remove regulations that are out of date and replace them with new ones because we don't want poison water and air. Nothing new. The Obama administration had a 2-to-1 policy too. They caught shit from it from the left.
President, you delivered 4 years of regulatory freedom. The Trump.
No. See those two trucks? Dude from the trucking company that I think it was just like a dealership who came up and spoke said these have the new powertrains in them. They're a lot more fuel efficient and we're heading towards electric. All that shit's based on regulations that push people in that direction. They didn't go willingly into that. When Carter lowered the emissions and basically passed a law that said you had to meet these standards, the Japanese went, oh, okay, I guess if we want to sell cars in the United States, we got to meet that standard. And and Chrysler and Ford fought back against it and spent all of their R&D money lobbying to get the standards rescinded. They managed to do it during the Reagan years. They ended up getting them stalled effectively. This is when Reagan took the solar panels off the roof of the White House. And at that point, like, I guess well, it wasn't even that. It was maybe 6 years later, Toyota was eating Ford's lunch everywhere. The Japanese car companies were killing because they went ahead with the standards and beat this. My mom is calling FaceTime again. Hold on one second. Mom. Hold on. We have to say hi to Mom. I mean, we can't, if it's important. Hold on. We have to call her back. I missed her again. Oh. You can't, if your mom calls twice. Hi, I'm on my stream right now. I'm working. What's going on? Are you okay?
Well, I got this.
Okay. We're not talking about personal things. I'm on the air. I'll call you back. That's good. I'll call. Yes, it's fine. I understand. We know exactly what's happening. I will call you back after my show before you start giving out your PIN number on the air.
Oh, when will that be?
It will be in an hour and a half.
Oh, should I call Summer?
Yes. Okay, love you. All right, bye. My mom will literally get on and start going, I use the old PIN number. It's brrr. And you're like, Mom, be quiet. my password, I'm having trouble getting into my account. Oh God, the iTunes password is an ongoing. She's amazing, but she will immediately just start spouting stuff, and I'm like, yeah, people watching. This is so good. Okay. Anyways, where was I? Oh yeah, 6 years later, the Japanese car companies were kicking America's ass because they kept the standards that Carter put in place, and we pissed them away and fought against them.
Administration has kept its promise to right-size regulation. I want to thank you for that.
Telehealth deregulation.
By the way, there was no telehealth deregulation. Telehealth was available everywhere. They just expanded it. It wasn't deregulated. Like, there weren't limitations on that are. You can't telehealth someone's femoral artery being severed. Yeah, the inspirational music is awesome and totally public domain.
Been of substantial benefit to my colleagues and I over recent months during the COVID-19 crisis.
Yeah, because nobody needs to get their doctor sick.
Heavy hand of government is no longer on our shoulders. Thank you.
By the way, this dude was polluting the town's water supply like an old A-Team episode. Thanks, Grim. And we never found out what the shit he was trying to do with his land that the federal government didn't let him do. Like, that was the whole thing. He was like, they were trying to get me. They were saying that I can't, but we...
Mr. President, thank you.
We believe in the dignity of the individual. We are putting our faith in the workers who power our country.
That's why I'm releasing jackbooted thugs onto the streets of our country. Thank you. Thanks for the super chat, Grim. So let's see. All right. So today, remember yesterday, guys, when we got a glimpse of another stage? Remember that? When we were like, the QAnons got their glimpse of the stage and we were like, what the hell is that setup where they accidentally cut to the other camera? Because this is on a room adjacent. This is like the slightly larger press theater. Remember that? Okay. Yeah, yesterday and the last stream. It works. Hold on. I feel like, yeah, all right. Sonically, we're okay? Yeah, they're definitely, it's a 5 flagger today. There should be some connection with Discord, but maybe only for chat. The problem with it, Ninka, is I disconnected it because it just fills it with the Discord with spam that the chat is starting. It's just crazy. Anyways, so yeah, this is the stage we were looking at with the QAnon backstage view. And this woman's wearing a giant dress made out of green doilies. Wait, oh, she's across over on the other side. But he's apparently, it looks like a grade school musical about them opening a CVS in your town. Thanks, Cassie. I appreciate that. You guys got any benzos? Do you have the green Sudafed? Can I get a... Right. This is going to be solid. So this is his little thing about drug prices. Trump delivers remarks, signs executive order on lowering drug prices. So this needed a set. This was not going to, they weren't going to do this in the Oval Office. Are you nuts?
Well, thank you very much, everybody.
You're welcome. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you.
Please. This promises to be a very big and very important meeting, so...
It's not a meeting.
Bear with me.
We always do. We always bear with you, but you never disappoint.
Person, woman, man, camera, TV. They say, that's amazing. How did you do that?
Take a little while, but it has to do with a thing called drug pricing.
A little thing called drug pricing. You might know it. Goes a little something like this. A little thing. It's called drug pricing. No, it is drug pricing. Unless everything is just a veneer to this dude.
And as you know, Congress has been...
That's behind Trump are shelves full of drugs, apparently.
Working on this for decades and decades, and We are now doing
Uh-huh.
something that is
Very special.
going to be incredible for the American public.
Okay. It's going to be incredible for the American people. Okay, I'm excited about this. Are you excited? Guys, get ready. This is going to be something that's exciting, incredible for the American people. We're ready. We're going to enjoy it.
So today I'm taking a bold and historic, very dramatic action to reduce the price of prescription drugs for American patients and American seniors. Previous administrations did nothing, absolutely
They did nothing. Absolutely nothing.
nothing.
Okay, I'm gonna have to, let me see, 1 second. Give me 1 second, kids. Let's see. Do I look up Obama prescription drug prices? Let's see. Let's go to blocked by let's see. All right, bringing up Politico. Obamacare and the drug industry. The shook up the house. Everybody could have evil largely unscathed. Basically, scrounging on their massive countries to change the rules of game. Insurers could cover sick people, however, hospital. Pharmaceutical industry, on the other hand, hasn't much changed except prices are higher, and there's nothing in health law that allows the government to push back prescription drugs. Deal with structural reform. There was nothing in the deal that was a structural reform of the drug industry, said Ted Kennedy, a Democrat, a mass arrest his soul. They were first in line. They were on the winning side. They had a good deal with the struggle. With drug prices rising, both Republicans and Democrats telling pollsters how much they worry about that, policymakers can't pull out any game-changing tools for the Obamacare from their Obamacare bag in response. Big Pharma is still pretty powerful. Technically, that payment experiment doesn't require... Okay, hold on. It ignited a campaign against a Medicare proposal to experiment with new ways of paying for some high-cost drugs, including cancer infusions, that now cost Medicare about $20 billion a year. Technically, that payment experiment doesn't require Congress's consent? But Congress could block it or scale it back, and there are moves afoot to do precisely that. Lobbyists say it's a matter of time before Medicare downsizes its proposal as politicians bemoan rising drug prices, but don't act on them. Waxman. So all the Democrats are trying to do it. Hold on. My goodness. Let's go. The one that got away. Let's see. Trump. Where is it? Trump drops plan. This is the plan that he actually signed today. Okay. Let's see. Executive orders are not, this is an executive order, that's what he's signing today. Immediately enforceable, meaning the administration would be left to finalize regulations following through on them, process that can take months. Prior Trump administration efforts to link drug price to what is paid by countries abroad and allow greater drug importation have been stalled in the face of Republican opposition. What? Excuse me? What a weird mask. Hello, lady. Stalled in the face of what? Stalled in the face of executive orders are not immediately enforceable, meaning the administration will be left to finalize regulations following through on them, a process that can take months. Prior Trump administration efforts to link drug prices to what is paid by countries abroad and allow greater drug importation have stalled in the face of Republican opposition. Well, I'm sure that during the ACA fight to get that law passed, that it wasn't Republican opposition that stopped it. It was probably across the board, even though I could only find Democrats getting pissed about it. Allowed drug to have stalled in the face of Republican opposition. So what do you think the chances are if the Senate is held by the Republicans this fall, that the law necessary and the changes necessary will pass the actual Congress and actually happen versus just languish as an executive order that doesn't actually do anything? I did not see Templeton. I was reading. What did I miss? I appreciate the letting me know. Where I would roll back. Thank you, William O'Connor, by the way. And did I miss? Oh, Templeton. Holy smokes. Happy Friday to you. Much love. Thank you for that. Oh, it just popped up on my other feed over here. That's where I usually see it when it comes up. Thank you. Love you too. Holy smokes. Bless you. Thanks to everybody who supports the show. And a bunch of you have been doing the PayPal thing too, because you apparently want to do it under the table. And I just feel like you're taxi dancer at this point. But yeah, the chances of any of this being more than lip service are completely nil. Let's see. Here comes he's the virus antibody huge. More money for his Republicans. Yes, the Senate is gone for the time. But even if they got together this fall, the people pushing back against linking drug prices in the United States to what's paid in Canada and other countries by these very companies and by Medicare and by consumers is the Republicans. They're the ones who are stopping it. They're always the one who have been stopping it. They were the ones who purged it from the ACA initially. And everybody's like, well, you should have fought for it. And then you would have lost everything. And then 24 million people wouldn't have insurance. And a bunch of people would have died and kissed my ass.
As drug lobbyists, special interests in foreign countries freely
who pay Republicans.
Ripped off our citizens. Under the last administration alone, drug prices rose a staggering 55%.
Yeah. But 24 million new people got insurance for the first time. And again, give me if you're going to say the percent, give me the actual number. Because 55% of $1 billion is a lot. 55% of $50, not a huge deal if it saves your life. See, it's kind of important. Again, I have no doubt we're talking about large numbers here, but always understand, if they give you a percentage and they don't give you an actual dollar or personal or per capita figure along with it, there's a lie in it.
Thanks to my administration's aggressive action since taking office, we have successfully lowered drug prices for the first time in 51 years. But this reduction is still not close to what I want, what I expect. And I'm looking for help for our great seniors, especially.
Are we counting the drugs that we just paid for with taxpayer money for COVID now? Is that what you're gonna count? You're gonna weigh that in the statistical average of what drugs cost?
In particular, and that's what we're doing today. You'll hear something which will be very shocking. So we're doing things.
Oh, are you gonna pardon Ghislaine Maxwell?
That nobody thought could be done. And it's going to have an incredible.
Yeah, it's not going to be done. You're going to sign an executive order that requires budgetary approval by the Congress. It's not like DACA. He's under the impression that because the president could allow put something through like DACA that would survive a test in the courts, that anything he writes as an executive order will automatically count as a law. He even said that like last week. He thinks this is a law.
Impact.
Biden is a dead horse. Well, that dead horse is going to actually beat this flailing orange shit gibbon. So there's that. Hold on one second. We'll leave that. And we do this. And we do that. And we do that. And there you go. And yeah. So,
unfortunately, we've been waiting for Congress to take action for.
Yeah. What's the hang up in the Senate? Who runs the Senate? Couldn't you bring something to the floor? I mean, all of the Democrats have wanted to do this for 2 decades.
Many decades to reduce drug prices for more than just a small handful of people. But even the small handful of people never got price reductions. And I'm unwilling to wait any longer. Therefore, today I'm signing 4 sweeping executive orders that will lead to massive reduction in drug costs. Massive.
Okay. Let's hear it.
We've already gotten them down a little bit, but that's not good enough. First time in 51 years, as I said, but that's not good enough. They represent the most far-reaching.
Are we gonna find out? Do I have to look up like drug prices and the yo-yo of drug prices over time? Which drugs is he talking about? Because some go up and some go down. Is there a generic drug price that we're talking about?
Prescription drug reforms ever issued by a president. Nothing even close. Joining us.
Yeah, this is not a bill that's passing. The ACA was a bill that got passed. Signing an executive order isn't going to make Mitch McConnell pass a bill that has full Democratic support.
For this important occasion, our Secretary of Health and Human Services, Alex, where is Alex? Alex, thank you.
Oh, you remember who he is now?
Cesar, CMS Administrator, both doing a great job. Seema Verma. Seema, thank you, Seema.
Bueller, Fry.
FDA Administrator, Dr. Stephen Hahn. Stephen, who's really
doing a fantastic job. Is he doing fantastic or a great job?
speeding up the process of therapeutics and vaccines. And I just heard from some of the big drug companies, and they're saying FDA has really been moving the process along. It's very important, Stephen. Can you move it faster, please? Okay.
Can you remove some of the safety measures? You know, I want our vaccine to be like the first attempt at resupply in The Martian.
Thank you. Great job. We appreciate it. And Administrator of Health Resources and Service Administration, Tom Engels. Tom, thank you. Thank you very much, Tom, for being here. We're also
Thanks, and whoever our prop master is for putting these shelves up all night.
pleased to have with us our great governor.
I can't be absolutely, yes. If I run for president, it'll be a wide open thing. I think we need 3 vice presidents, the full cabinet.
From the state of Florida, incredible state, incredible guy, Governor Ron DeSantis. Thank you.
Oh yeah, he's doing fantastic. I'm so glad he's with us. Terrific. He's doing a wonderful job in Florida. I think we're all very impressed. If I can speak for the chat. I mean, probably the most talented governor, because I think was it Dr. Birx who said, Florida, it's like another New York right now.
Ron, very much appreciate it. And you're going to say a few words in the end. Good.
The end of what? I always worry when he says the end.
Representative Matt Gaetz, our friend.
Our friend.
Hi, Matt. You're so quiet back there today. I've never seen you like that. Thank you.
See what I say? Normally you talk over me? What is that?
Matt, great job you're doing. Appreciate it very much. Speaker of the Florida House of Representatives, Jose Oliva. Jose, thank you, Jose. Very much. Good job. And many other state
Good job getting up here from Florida and getting out of that death zone.
local leaders. We have a lot of them. Thank you very much for being here. The 4 orders I'm signing today will completely restructure the prescription drug market in terms of pricing and everything else to make these medications affordable and accessible for all Americans. The first order will require federal community health centers to pass the giant discounts they receive from drug companies on insulin and EpiPens directly to their patients. You know, insulin became so expensive, people weren't able to use it. They desperately needed it.
You were even asking if you should be on it. Remember that?
We have it to a level that you're not going to believe. EpiPens, likewise. You've been reading horrible stories about EpiPens over the last 6, 7 years. Horrible, horrible, horrible increases where they went from almost nothing to massive amounts of money. We're changing that right now.
Are we?
These providers should not be receiving discounts for themselves while charging their poorest patients massive full prices. Under this order, the price of insulin for
what community health centers were community health centers were charging massive full prices for EpiPens.
affected patients will come down to just pennies a day from numbers that you weren't able to think about.
Why don't you actually say some? Instead of having giant, like, I think that's the Billy or those straight up Office Depot shelves. Instead of having those up there, have those screens you had yesterday. Why don't you just do this in the regular press room for one and have those screens up there and show us the comparison between what it costs and what it's going to cost now if indeed the Republicans let this shit through, which I don't think they will. And like, this seems to be, this is the re-election plan, right? Okay, insofar as prescription drugs go, this is the re-election plan. You ready? When you're losing to a Democrat, become a Democrat. That's what this is. Because this is, I mean, he's effectively reading from the initial draft of the ACA what they wanted to put in there as far as you know, for prescription drug prices, and every addendum that's ever been put forward by Democrats to lower prescription drugs. And the only people running interference on it were the blue dogs who were against the public option initially in the ACA, and all Republicans.
It's a massive cost savings.
That will never, ever see the light of day as long as Mitch McConnell is in office.
The second executive order I'm signing this afternoon will allow states, wholesalers, and pharmacies to do something other politicians have promised for decades and decades, but never done. They never delivered. We will finally allow the safe and legal importation of prescription drugs from Canada and other countries where the price for the identical drug is incredibly lower. It's a difference like you wouldn't believe. 70%, 80%, 90%.
Yeah, I'd believe it. Yeah, that's why the Democrats have been presenting bills like this for years.
30%.
Oh my God.
But massively lower than the identical drug made in the same plant, the same factory, the same exact
We know.
drug, same everything, same box, same pill. And yet it's 50, 60, 70% lower. And this is something that Ron and I have been discussing from the time Ron got elected, and I've been wanting to do it. And it takes a long time from a legal standpoint. And we've got it all worked out.
You mean to actually make a bill and get it through the House and the Senate when the Republicans are the only ones blocking this?
So you're
It was 30, 70, 80, sometimes person, woman, man.
going to be getting massive drug savings in Florida and other states. And we've had numerous states that wanted to do it. Ron really was at the forefront, I will say that. But you have other states that have caught on. It's caught on very quickly. Didn't take them long to figure that one out, Ron. It's too obvious. We pay for all of the research and all of the development, and foreign countries pay absolutely nothing, and our consumer gets charged. This has been going on for decades.
Yeah, we know. Yeah, Democrats have been clamoring about this for a long time. Get this past the Republicans in the Senate, then we'll talk.
The American people pay an average of over 3 times
Thank you,
more
Georgina.
for medicine than the Canadians.
And thank you, William O'Connor. I appreciate that. And thanks, Bo Will, for following, however you pronounce that. No one quite knows.
People go to Canada. I see it all the time. They go to Canada to buy drugs, and then they come back. Prescription drugs, because they save so much money. The trip is well worth it. The Obama-Biden administration pledged to end this unfairness and allow drug importation, but they never got it done. They were unable to get it done.
Yeah, who ran interference? Why? Why? Because I was reading. I want to make sure I heard that right. Let's hear it again.
The American people pay an average of over 3 times more for medicine than the Canadians. Many people go to Canada. I see it all the time. They go to Canada to buy drugs, and then they come back.
Yeah. Do they pick you up some green Sudafed on the way back?
Prescription drugs, because they save so much money. The trip is well worth it.
I talk to them all the time. Hey, if you're going over there, can you get me some Adderall off prescription?
The Obama-Biden administration pledged to end this unfairness and allow drug importation, but they never got it done. They were unable.
Yeah. Who stopped them? Who? Other Democrats?
To get it done.
How about every Republican in the Senate?
They didn't get a lot of things done.
Oh, no? then why are you trying to undo all the stuff they got done?
But under my administration, we're standing up to the lobbyists and special interests and fighting back against a rigged system. Rigged system, you've heard that word before.
It's not a word, it's a phrase. It's 2 words. Rigged system, unless you're running them all together. That's a good one. I'll save that one. Rigged system, you've heard that.
Got it done. They were unable to get it done. They didn't get a lot of things done.
Pam, this isn't just Bernie Sanders' plan. This is every Democrat's plan. This was in the ACA.
But under my administration, we're standing up to the lobbyists and special interests and fighting back against a rigged system. Rigged system, you've heard that word before. I'm
Person, woman, man, rigged system, TV.
unrigging the system that is many decades old. We're doing
He's going to unrig it
something that should have been done a long
because he doesn't want to be unnice.
time ago. The third revolutionary order I'm signing
Yeah, Ted Kennedy in 1980 has been pushing for this. Right.
today will prevent middle men.
Really?
Women, I guess.
That's the problem with middlemen and women.
That is many decades old. We're doing something that should have been done a long time ago.
But for the Republicans.
Third revolutionary order I'm signing today will prevent middle men and women, I guess. But you heard about the middleman, right? The middleman that makes so much money nobody knows who they are. Nobody has any idea who they are. They make more money, perhaps, than even the drug companies themselves. And the drug companies, in all fairness to them, Big Pharma.
The middleman.
And they're doing a great job in the vaccines. They're doing a great job in therapeutics. I can tell you because I deal with them a lot.
The middlemen?
But I think
What?
the middlemen make more money than they do, and they don't do much. Maybe they don't do anything. Some people say they don't do anything. Nobody even knows who they are.
Well, then how are you going to pass a law against them making money if you can't find them? Nobody. Does anybody know what the shit that was? Middlemen and women. Maybe you can't find the middlemen and nobody knows where they are because they dress up as women and they're in disguise. And they, what the hell was that? Let's do that again. Oh.
The third revolutionary order I'm signing, they make more money.
Oh, there it is. Wait.
The third revolutionary order I'm signing today will prevent middle men and women, I guess. But you've heard about the middleman, right? The middleman that makes so much money nobody knows who they are. Nobody has any idea who they are. They make more money, perhaps, than even the drug companies themselves. And the drug companies, in all fairness to them, Big Pharma. And they're doing a great job in the vaccines. They're doing a great job in therapeutics. I can tell you because I deal with them a lot. But I think the middlemen make more money than they do, and they don't do much. Maybe they don't do anything. Some people say they don't do anything. Nobody even knows who they are. But the middlemen are making a fortune. And pharmacy benefit managers and...
What was that? What was that whole... It's like his own personal version of Zeitgeist. When the middlemen stop the Fed from being audited. What the shit was that? What about the middle women? Do they do some work? Is that probably, That's why I won't even go to a middle school. I don't trust them. That's all they do. Are they all trained at a middle school? These schools need to be shut down. Oh my God. This is just embarrassing.
People are...
Yeah, the big conspiracy of the middlemen. And women, I suppose.
just bilking Medicare patients with these high drug prices while they pocket gigantic discounts. Gigantic discounts.
Did you gigantic? That word he likes.
The amount of money they've made over the decades is too incredible even to...
By the way, to all the Qs who show up or trying to make a comeback in here, I'm sorry you're lonely, and I'm sorry about the nosebleeds. They have more to do with your diet than an implant. But good luck not getting a vaccine from dear leader.
Speculators say...
Thank you, Lisa Miamore.
It's massive.
It's massive, bigger than gigantic. It's not even enough. He's going to run out of adjectives at some point, isn't he?
Some very rich people are not going to like me very much today, I can tell you.
That was a laugher.
I probably know them very well. I probably see them in Palm Beach. But
don't bring up Palm Beach again. That's where you said you hung out with Ghislaine Maxwell, you asshole. Say New York. Holy shit.
nobody ever talks about who they are. Everyone
it's not I don't know. Did Jeffrey Epstein have money in pharmaceuticals?
The middlemen for years, the middlemen. Right, Alex?
No, and Alex is like, I don't know what the shit he's talking about. He fired me from the task force in March.
He doesn't know who they are either, but he knows they're rich.
Oh my God. The Middlemen.
They're not going to be
coming this fall on NBC.
so rich anymore. Because
why not? If they're skimming, it wouldn't matter how much.
The money is going down to reduce the price of drugs, prescription.
Oh, it's going down, just like the death rate and just like the case rate, and it's just going to disappear. Like the money's just going to disappear.
Drugs. So
Alex Azar is who he's talking to.
It's a big thing. That's a
the head of HHS and secretary of HHS, and Alex Azar was the first person appointed to head up the COVID-19 task force in January when they first did it because they didn't think it was worth bothering about, and he was undercutting the whole thing. Peter Navarro was actually the one freaking out about it because he has business in China, so he was seeing the real deal and going, whatever number of dollars you're thinking of aiming at this, you need to double it. Navarro was flipping out. And Azar was like, nah. And for 8 weeks, he did fuck all. And then they ended up replacing him with Pence in March.
Tremendous step. It should have been taken a long time ago, but they have a great deal of power. And I don't have to tell you how many phone calls I've had in the last few days when they heard
with Vladimir Putin?
Was going to be doing this. I've heard from people that I haven't spoken to in a long time.
This is hilarious to them.
Frequently, drug companies give these middlemen discounts of up to 50% on the price of prescription drugs. But too often, those discounts are not passed on to the pharmacy counter, meaning the people.
Yeah, that's the pharmaceutical rebate he's talking about.
This rule will pass.
It's not cash.
Those billions and billions of dollars a year, I mean, many, many billions a year in discounts onto patients, directly onto patients, saving Americans with high drug costs thousands of dollars a year. Individual people will make thousands of dollars a year. You're not going to believe the impact that the things we're talking about today are.
No, we will, because Democrats have been trying to push this for 2 decades, and the only people stopping it are Republicans.
Are going to have.
Good
Mark
God.
Meadows, our great chief, is sitting here, and he's just can't even believe it because he was a very successful congressman. He's been after people to do this for a long time.
No, he hasn't.
And they never got to the gate. I understand why. Tremendous pressure. Tremendous pressure put on the president not to do it. The fourth and final order I'm signing today is the granddaddy of them all. Will end global freeloading on the backs of American patients and American seniors. For
global freeloading.
Decades, our citizens have paid the highest prices for drugs, prescription drugs, anywhere in the world, and it's not even close.
Thanks, Lewis.
Foreign nations have paid vastly less for the exact same drug again in the exact same box, from the exact same plant, from the...
Yeah, but largely in the EU especially, it's because they either have a national health service that absorbs it or they have a VAT tax that's part of it if it comes from another European country, or they pay way higher taxes that absorb some of those costs and the government offsets it. How many orders is he signing for? Yeah. They won't do anything, Templeton. You're absolutely right.
Exact same company.
Global Freeloading was my first punk band.
They would pay 10%, 20%.
Yeah, because they pay the rest in taxes. They pay shit tons of taxes, and their taxes make up the cost.
30%, what our people are paying. A pill that would sell for $1.
On the street?
In certain countries, I won't name them, they're all allies.
Because you can't.
Allies, right? They call them allies.
They call them allies? They are our allies, you dipshit. They call them allies. Oh my God. Thanks, Rob. Biden 2020. All the Bernie stuff Trump just said without the tweets. Totally. This is stuff from the ACA that the Republicans insisted on being cut out.
I call them so-called allies.
Why would you call them so? Oh, because Russia, right.
But a pill that would cost $1 could be $7, $8 in our country.
Because we don't subsidize it on a government level. What you're talking about now is a government subsidy for the cost of the drug.
Same exact pill.
Yeah. The government absorbs the cost of the drugs in all those countries you're talking about.
We pay.
Ask Boris Johnson how they get a $7 pill to cost $1. He'll explain it to you. As a matter of fact, as an analogy, he can use the drugs they gave him to fight off COVID, which you said was a hoax.
80% more than nations like Germany, Canada, and others for some of the most expensive medicines, identical in all.
Yeah, all the countries, Canada especially, you're talking about, he's talking about two different kinds of countries, and he's not making a distinction. The main country that he's talking about where he's trying to show off, which is England and France, Germany, the Netherlands, Norway, Denmark, Canada, where the drug prices are depressed because the government picks up the tab for it. Or Mexico, where you can go across the border and you can buy drugs really super cheap, but who the hell knows if they're actually the drug you're buying? Where the standards are so low that the drug itself is unverifiable, so you're paying a basement price for it because that's where it was made, in a bathtub.
This means that Americans are funding the enormous cost of drug research and development for the entire planet.
No, we're not. If that was true, then all of our pharmaceutical companies would be out of work. They would be broke. They would not they wouldn't be able to produce any drugs at all.
We are bearing the entire cost of all of this.
No, we're not.
Bearing none. They say this is what we're going to pay.
Yes, and the reason he's signing executive orders is because if he put these forward as policy initiatives, even in a second term under Mitch McConnell, they would never make it to his desk.
In some cases, it's a socialist country. So.
Oh, yeah. You what? Wait, excuse me? Asshole says what?
We are bearing the entire cost of all of this. They're bearing none. They say this is what we're going to pay. In some cases, it's a socialist country. So we're paying to reduce drug prices in a socialist country.
No, we're not. Canada's not a socialist country. France is not a socialist country. Germany's not a socialist country. The Netherlands aren't. They're actually monarchies. The UK isn't a socialist country. They're all capitalist countries, dickhead. They just have safety nets. And the governmental safety net, they've weighed the cost of whether or not people can get drugs versus how people, whether they're too sick to work, and the weight that it has on society and the damage it does to the economy. And they've said, you know what, it's actually cheaper if we subsidize the cost of these drugs. Oh, sorry, my mic is cracking a little. You can always jump to the next one. How's that? And we're not a socialist country. We're not. we have democratic representation of our taxation. That's what that is. And so do these other countries, by the way. Even the systems that you would call socialist in nature, people use that word in a very sloppy way. The NHS is not a socialist healthcare system. It is the British people, even under a monarchy, with a parliamentary system, deciding they must have taxation with representation, the fundamental aspect of democracy. And when taxes are taken, the people have a say in where those taxes go, and they prioritize shit that they would want to make their lives better. Sometimes you would prioritize, we need a big army because we're in the middle of a war. But when you're not in the middle of a war, you might prioritize for your taxation the other war you're fighting, which is a healthcare war, meaning either degenerative disease that comes with age, cancer, which is caused either by environmental or toxic or genetic reasons, or in this case, a pandemic that you would want to be ready for if it came.
How does
Thanks,
that
Shell Bell.
work? How does that work?
It works because they, first of all, those countries you're talking about, we're not financing Venezuela's pharmaceutical industry. And France and England and Germany buy bulk. They've set up a system where they buy enormous amounts of it that make these pharmaceutical companies large amounts of money. They're just not suckers about it.
And these are things that should have been done a long time ago. And even from our standpoint, we would have done it more quickly, but we have to go through vast amounts of waiting periods, waiting times,
You mean waiting for Mitch McConnell to give a shit?
This is an incredible day.
Waiting for Republicans to allow a bill to come to the floor that's already been shaped that would actually do this?
Just a big day.
What are you waiting for?
This is a big day. I've been waiting for this day for a long time. We incredibly and
It was
foolishly
a
bear
gift.
the full
It's a king's. It's sacred geometry. It's a King Solomon's amulet, but it's
cost of all
It was a gift. It's kind of lovely. I'm wearing it because it was nice.
research and development, which is massive. In all fairness to the drug companies, can take 15 years to get something approved, billions and billions of dollars for a simple drug.
Yeah, to make sure it doesn't kill more people than it helps.
It also means that the U.S. taxpayers are effectively subsidizing the socialist healthcare systems of foreign welfare states and many other countries.
See, notice he didn't say socialists on that. The phrase they have in there is welfare states, because technically welfare systems are not socialism. They are taxation with representation. We as a people, we as the country decide we would rather our citizenry not die of easily fixable diseases because other people would like to just let them die off for financial gain. Again, this is, we've had this back and forth about the use of the word socialism. You can use it if you want to, but that's not what it is. And they use it as, they've weaponized it when it's not actually what Canada has. It's not what the NHS has. It's not what Spain has. It is simply the people saying, this is the threat we want to deal with that we think has value. And you might want to build a giant army to go blow some asshole up. But since the chances of us being killed by a terrorist bullet are like this big, but the chances of us dying from an infectious disease are like this big, we would rather put our money towards the bigger threat. See what I mean there? So all taxation is not socialism. It's where you point it. And the only reason this hasn't passed in some form or another, and it won't, by the way, this will, we'll see, but I bet you it doesn't take, there's a waiting period. He's going to say waiting period, and then we've got another waiting period.
We will end that abuse and restore the principles of free enterprise, but this...
Then we're not having a free enterprise. If free enterprise would be, drug companies can make a drug. If they make it themselves, they can charge whatever they want. And if we want to live, we have to pay it. That's free enterprise.
Doesn't even have to do with free enterprise. This has to do with common sense and courage, to be honest.
Oh, so common sense and courage are antithetical to free enterprise. Thank you for playing.
And courage. Under
I said courage. Did you not hear me?
this transformative order, Medicare will be required to purchase drugs at the same price as other countries pay. So we would pay 4 or 5 times more for a drug. We now
Right. So Medicare. This is for Medicare and Medicaid. More, I guess. Well, I don't know. He didn't say Medicaid. I'm putting that in, and I was assuming. I'm going to go with probably just Medicare doing this, and the regular consumer, people with just insurance, people with other ailments, aren't going to get this benefit.
pay, if somebody else pays $1 and we pay $5, we're paying $1. Now, what's going to happen is their number will go up, our number will come very substantially down, and we'll all agree at 2.5 or 2 or whatever the final number is. But if some country is paying wherever it may be in the world because they had a better negotiator, because they had smarter people than we have.
No. Well, okay. I'm with you if you're calling Mitch McConnell a dumbass.
And that's what it's all about. Maybe more honest people. Who knows? Could be a lot of things going.
Did you just say moron? Did you just call Mitch McConnell a moron? Don't make me like you.
But we get now the lowest price anywhere in the world.
No, you're talking about evening the price with other people, because ours would go up, but ours would come down, but theirs would go up. So it wouldn't be we wouldn't have the lowest price. Apparently, they would cease to have the lowest price. Oh my God, his hand is small.
And no more will we have to suffer by saying, gee, why is it so much cheaper for the exact same drug in some other country?
That's what we suffer by? Holy
We
God.
will determine what other medically advanced nations pay for the most expensive drugs.
Yeah, and then you'll realize that their taxes pay for a big chunk of it. And you're looking at the patient cost versus what the government picks up instead of what we take on as the entire cost as patients. And you're only applying this to Medicare anyways. So this will just go away. This will this is fart air. This is nonsense. Seriously. Call me out. Am I missing something in this? Anybody? Chat room? Anybody? They're going to go look at what the price that they actually pay in other countries. And they're going to recognize that we pay $7 for the drug and they pay $1, and it turns out that the government pays $6 over there. And then they're going to go, oh shit, never mind. And we will never hear any more of this.
Instead of paying the highest price, Medicare will pay the lowest price, and so will.
Since when do I have Botox? When did I get Botox? I mean, I'm flattered, but yeah, you can't come in and threaten physical violence. It's just not done. Sorry. I mean, I appreciate that you're weak of heart and mind and all that business, but yeah. Let's see. How do we do this? Let me drag this out a little bit. Take this. And we'll block. We get you away. And we go back to where we were. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I don't mind people being rude, but you know, you threaten to strike me because your argument is shit. I mean, it's just not done. It's not cricket. I mean, I'm not scared. You're obviously a weakling, both mentally and physically, or you wouldn't need to do that, but there you go.
Lots of other U.S. buyers. Medicare is the largest purchaser of drugs anywhere in the world by far.
Uh-huh. Right. And the only reason we don't have the same deal a bunch of other countries have in purchasing our drugs is because Republicans have run interference against it forever.
Medicare, largest purchaser of drugs in the world.
Cassie says, Hal, I don't know how you handle these Facebook trolls. Well, first of all, I have a profound enough sense of self that the words of a stranger on the internet have no effect. I recommend it. I really do. If I interact with somebody quite regularly such as yourself, Cassie, or Can't Stop Lying, or some of the other folks, or Carl, or Ginger, or Julie, or Templeton, and our other folks that are in here. And at some point, they say something that's either, it shows that they're angry with me. That I would take to heart, because I've had profound interactions, and we've shared a decent amount of time together. And even though I haven't met them in person in some cases, I understand that there's kind of at least an online version of a relationship there. Even then, I take it with a grain of salt, because I have family and friends, and that, I have tiers of importance in my life, like any healthy, psychologically healthy individual would be. But you have to understand, most of the accounts that you're going to run interference against in a lot of these situations are simply just not real. They just aren't. They are either bots, or they're fake, or they're troll farms, or in fact, if they are a person, they have been suckered by bots and troll farms to think that somehow their dumb idea that they seem to think is important has a bunch of other people that also believe it, because the trolls and the bots give them the illusion that they have a group. And then they can't figure out why, when they say their shit out loud in public, people look at them like their head is a bird cage. So I don't know how anybody could get upset when someone says shit like that. You just broom them and move on with your day.
And we're finally going to use that incredible power to achieve a fairer and lower price for everyone. Everyone will get a fairer and much lower price. This is not talking about 0.5%. This is big stuff.
Yeah, if it actually goes anywhere.
Ridiculous.
And by the way, if you need some help, the Democrats already have 3 versions of this bill that have passed the House. If you might want to throw that on
the system, which has been broken for decades. We aren't even allowed to negotiate the price of drugs. Can you believe it? I said,
yeah, I can believe it. You know why? Ask Mitch McConnell.
When are we going to negotiate? We're not allowed. We're restricted by Congress.
All of Congress? Everyone in Congress?
From negotiating the price of drugs. Can you imagine?
Can you imagine? Yes, I can. I'm imagining it right now. And the face I'm picturing vaguely looks like a turtle and has pictures of himself in front of a Confederate flag.
You say, I want to get a better price. I'm sorry, sir, you're not allowed to do that.
Sir, we can't get a better price. Sir. I don't know, like, the sir dude is back. Always, the sir guy talks like the aardvark from the Pink Panther cartoons.
That's illegal.
Sir, we cannot.
What kind of a system is that? You think the world looks at us and said, where the hell did these people come from?
Yeah, I guarantee they're saying that right now. Oh, God.
But they treat us very nicely.
What?
But it's not. It's going to end, okay? I see you're a fan of what we're saying. You must be a doctor. Are you a doctor? Yeah. Doctors.
You don't know who's there? They're in the front row.
No, the doctors know. You've known that
the
for
mic is static.
years.
Sorry.
We're not allowed to negotiate. Can you believe it? We just have to take whatever it is. I'm pleased to announce that as a result of the orders I'm signing today, the heads of the major drug companies have requested a meeting to discuss how we can quickly and significantly lower drug prices and out-of-pocket expenses from...
Yeah, the drug companies have... Hold on one second. See if I can switch back and it makes it a little better. I don't know if it's just after a while it wears out. After I announce this, the major drug companies want to meet with me and have a meeting where they talk about how, hey, you're going to be out of office soon because you're going to lose horribly. So if you just don't do this, we can help with that whole Trump Tower Moscow thing, maybe.
Americans, they want to do what's right. Look, they're going to do...
No, they don't.
That's right. Look, I think it's so important what they're doing on...
Groomed? By the way, this is not a podcast. I don't know who's calling this a podcast. This is not a podcast. I'm drinking a 3D energy drink. I got it at GNC.
Therapeutics and vaccines, and we're going to see them on Tuesday. We'll see if we can do something here, but this could have been done a long time ago.
Yeah, but who stopped it? Who? Which party? Which party? Say it. Say it!
The drug company executives will be at the White House on Tuesday, and they have some ideas how to significantly reduce drug prices. We've already
Without going through this? Right.
given them to you. I don't know if they can possibly do something to substitute for what's called favored nations. Favored nations, that means we get the lowest price anywhere in the world. Whoever gets the best price, congratulations. Thank you very much for being a good negotiator, because we now get the lowest price too. Should have been done a long time ago. If these talks are
It's a great description of most favored nations. That's all parties get the same. Whoever negotiates the best deal, everybody gets the same deal.
successful, we may not
Which basically means that we're going to steal the deal that all these socialist countries have. That's what he's talking about. He's basically saying we should get the same thing Boris gets. Well, set up a national health service, asshole, and you'll see it happen overnight.
need to implement the fourth executive order, which is
By the way, don't forget to like and subscribe to the show, especially if you hate me. That's right. I appreciate the trolls. Thanks for being here. You boost our numbers and you've helped us grow incredibly. I'm not kidding. I looked at my Facebook breakdown of how these things are going. They've got all these insights into your channel growth and all that stuff, and everybody tells you to look at that shit. And I broke down and looked at it just for the second. My minutes watched on my page is up 83,000%. And it can all be people who love me, although there's a bunch of you, and I appreciate you being here. But the hate balls, they're glued to us as well.
a very tough order for them. Very tough. And I understand that. And we have a lot of respect for our great pharmaceutical companies, drug companies. We have a lot of respect for them. So we'll see what they have to say on Tuesday. Maybe they have an idea that's good, but it's got to be very substantial. They're actually in favor of the rebate rule, the rollback, because they say that's people getting money that aren't even doing anything for it.
Huh?
And bigger money than they're getting, I believe. If they are not, the
Wait. Was that a sentence? Did that actually have any content to it? What? Wait a minute.
very
Who's making money?
substantial. They're actually in
that's what it
favor
is.
of the rebate rule, the rollback, because they say that's people getting money that aren't even doing anything for it. And bigger money than they're getting, I believe. If they are not, the order will be implemented if we don't do a deal or agree to something. The order, number 4, favored nations, a big order. They're all big. All 4 are very big, by the way, very
But this is the biggest.
big. But the 4th order, we're going to hold that until August 24th.
Oh, okay. So the waiting thing. Remember when you're saying we have to keep waiting? There's always the waiting and the wait. It's the waiting that we have to deal with. There's so much waiting with the ups and the waiting. We always have to do the waiting. That shit. Okay. So he's signing a thing today that doesn't do anything for a month before they start talking about what they might do.
Hoping that the pharmaceutical companies will come up with something that will substantially reduce drug prices. And the clock starts right now. So it's August 24th at 12 o'clock.
At 12, is that exactly? Oh my God, I can't wait to see the final episode this season where they're just running across town with their freshly written up deal. Aren't we supposed to have the healthcare deal right now? Thanks, Gonzo.
After which the order on favored nations will go into effect. And Mark, I'll hold you to it, please, 12 o'clock, not 12:01, right? In the meantime, we're working very hard on therapeutics and a vaccine for the China virus, which remains.
Which we just made a deal with the pharmaceutical companies that they don't have to supply for free, even though, and the treatments like remdesivir, which was made in coordination with the NIH, taxpayers paid for the development of that drug, the pharmaceutical company can still charge retail to everybody who gets it through the government and gets taxpayer funds for that. So they're triple dipping, I guess. This goes exactly opposite of these executive orders today. Good God.
Our top priority, in which are coming along at record speed. Thank you very much, Dr. Hahn. Been fantastic. You really have.
O'Hara's treachery has disgraced us. Suddenly, Mr. Hahn, I'd like to leave your island.
Been fantastic. 2 vaccine candidates are entering the final stage of clinical trials this month, right?
2 of ours. Yeah, and 7 other countries have their own. The UK's the closest. We're probably all going to get a shot from England. And then you're going to hear all these assholes in the QAnon crowd talking about how the royal family is inoculating the pentaveret so that they can wipe out a section of the pie. I don't know how this bullshit works. They just think John's going to land in a Piper Cub on the White House lawn and pick up some pedophiles and fly them to Epstein's Island and drop them into a volcano. I don't know how it works. Neither do they. The worst thing you can do is have a short conversation with a QAnon. The best thing you can have is have a really long one and watch them sputter out at the end, realizing that they are grasping at straws.
And several more vaccines will enter final trials in the following weeks. I did speak to one just recently. They're working on therapeutics as opposed to vaccine, and frankly...
Yeah, they're not the same thing. Different companies, different labs, different people work on different projects. Yeah.
That's the most exciting to me. We can walk into a hospital right now and...
Yeah, and get 2 treatments from the UK that are the most efficacious, specifically beta interferon and dexamethasone, which you think is steroids in general, which is a steroid. Both of one used for asthma, the other used for MS. Both of them stop the cytokine storm, calm your immune system down, so you just go through it like a flu. Both of those discovered in the UK. Both of them super cheap. Both of them from the National Health Service. Hey, Amos.
People better. I like that even more. But
why? Why would you like that even more? And who gives a shit which one you like more? If you have a vaccine, people never have to get sick in the first place and walk into a hospital turning blue.
Vaccine long term will be great. So we have them both going. They're both going rapidly, and they're both going very well. And I guess the early indications are we're beyond happy, right? It's beyond.
He's beyond happy. Isn't that an old Carlin bit? More than happy, that's what it was. More than happy, I'm more than happy to do that. More than happy sounds like a mental disorder. Like, what happened to Gary? We had to put him in an institution. He was more than happy.
Happy.
He was beyond happy.
Yes, producing all of the most promising candidates already, so that on day one, that means that we think we have the answer. Otherwise, we wouldn't be making that bet. It's a big bet.
No, it isn't. We've dumped $6 trillion on the economy. $1.85 billion is chicken shit money.
So that in day one, the day we get it approved, it will be available immediately, Doctor. Is that correct?
No, it won't be ready immediately.
So if we get it approved, now normally this process would take, to get up to where we are now, 3 years, 4 years. I've heard numbers like that.
Yeah, so you make sure that the people don't die. But then, of course, we're talking about vaccines for stuff that aren't currently going to wipe out 300,000 Americans by December.
We did it in literally a matter of weeks.
No, you didn't. Unless you count, technically a year is a matter of weeks. There's 52 of them.
It's a really incredible thing. One of the other things, I was talking about drugs in the pipeline for getting drugs approved, and it does cost billions of dollars, and it would be 12 years, 15 years. And
what are you talking about, AIDS now?
Dr. Hahn and Scott, before you worked very hard. Scott Gottlieb.
What was his name again?
We've got that down to a number that's less than half, and we're going down further. We have to make sure it's safe. And right to try came out of this whole thing, where where we have a drug that we think is good. Matt Gaetz helped with this and getting it approved, and Mark when he was a congressman. But we had great help from certain people. But right to try is incredible. We have a drug that works, but it's got to go through this very...
Right to try is a bill written into law that was completely unnecessary based on current medical guidelines. That within the FDA and within, as far as alternative treatments go, and the way right to try is structured, you have to be diagnosed as terminally ill, and they have used up every possible treatment available to you, and you have to, I think, agree to all of them. You have to go through all of them. You have to go through at least, one round of chemotherapy. You have to go through one round of any particular drug they have. Everything short of, I guess, being in a drug trial. You could do that before. There just was no name for it.
Long and very detailed process for purposes of safety and to make sure it's good. If somebody's terminally ill, very sick, person not going to make it, person very sick, we passed legislation, which they've been trying to get for 42 years.
Oh, are you confusing this with the 2014 Choice Act? Is it everything 42 years? What the shit happened 42 years ago that bills stopped getting made? Was Carter just kicking ass and taking names?
It's called Right to Try, where people...
Look at that, 310 people just hanging out. These are usually we have these kind of numbers just on the Saturday show, and this is becoming a regular daily occurrence. Thanks, guys. Because I'm going to do this whether you show up or not. This is for my own sanity as well.
Sign a document that if it doesn't work out, they're not suing the drug company, they're not suing...
Right.
...the insurance company, and they're not suing our country. And instead of traveling, if they have money, they travel to Asia, and they travel to Europe, they travel all over the world in the hopes of finding a cure. They're terminally ill. If they have no money, sadly, they go home with no hope, and they die. We have now a program, Right to Try, finally happened after, I guess, as long as you've been a doctor, long before you became a doctor, right? They've been trying to get this.
Have the doctor come up and explain. I don't know if he works with terminally ill patients or if he's probably a proctologist, maybe.
But
have him come up and explain to you what happens when they run out of any kind of treatments for somebody. They've literally done nothing, and they've reached the end of their treatment, and they have said, you get your affairs in order, you have 6 months to live. All of them are able to try any experimental drugs. They have been forever.
We now have a program where they can try these really promising medicines, and you have no idea how successful this is already.
They can sign up to be a guinea pig for an experimental drug. Yeah.
It's incredible. And one of the things that really came out of it,
thanks,
Gonzo. The biggest
Gonzo.
problem for the drug companies, they didn't want it because they didn't want it in their sample. Because people that are that sick, they don't want it in the sample. And so we created a separate sample so it doesn't hurt them.
If that person dies and the drug doesn't work at all and they die screaming in pain with their blood feeling like it's boiling.
But one of the things that's come out of it is if it works, what is a better testing formula than that? Somebody that's terminally ill and all of a sudden makes it. And we're having...
Well, I guess the testing formula, if they don't make it and they die painfully, because you check that box on the form. Because at that point, you're just turning terminally ill people into guinea pigs.
Examples of that. It's been incredible. It's been an incredible program.
Thank you, guys.
I hope somebody's going to be able to write a story about it because it's been one of the things that I'm very proud of it.
Oh, there'll be stories written about it. Hang in there.
The name even, Right to Try. They have the right to try a drug that's not going to be available for 2 years or 3 years. They're terminally ill. Before you'd say, well, they're terminally ill, yeah, but we don't want to give them a drug that's going to hurt them. Well, they're going to die. And they didn't want to give them a drug because they thought it might be dangerous. And perhaps in some cases it may be dangerous, but we're having tremendous success with that program. Proud of it. Additionally,
oh my God.
My administration has secured 90% of the world's supply of the drug remdesivir, which is...
Yeah, we bought it all up at retail from a company that we helped design and make and produce the drug. We paid them cash on the barrelhead, top dollar. None of this bullshit, we're going to negotiate the same price as other countries. We're going to buy it all up. Just like we bought a shit ton of hydroxychloroquine.
Having great impact for the United States, and research continues daily on a lot of promising treatments, as I said. As we take these historic actions, we're joined today by Americans who have already benefited from the steps my administration has already taken to reduce the cost of health care and prescription drugs. We're going to have a big health care bill that we're going to be putting up very shortly.
Oh, yeah.
And it's
we're all very excited to see it in a very short period of time.
going to be
thank
very
you.
complete.
It's going to be very complete. Oh, that's good. All right, so they know how they're going to pay for it. Let me guess. $26 billion over 10 years, according to GAO, but they've got fake numbers.
And today, what we're doing on prescription drugs, and again, we'll have to see what happens on August 25th. We'll either do the favored nations or...
Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You said the 24th at noon, not 12:01. I don't want to hear any bullshit about the 25th.
Depending on the drug companies.
Are you giving him an extra day? Again, this is his, can't help but exaggerate. On the 24th, probably the 25th, maybe the 27th. At this point,
What we're putting up in a very short period of time on healthcare will be
very short period of time. There it is. The death knell.
incredible. We have another one coming on immigration. Tremendous bill on immigration.
I'm going to guess these are executive orders that he's talking about. What do you think? You think he's going to sign another executive order just like this shit? Thank you, Benny Loco.
And it'll be, I think, something that nobody thought we would be able to get.
Yeah, you won't be able to get it. That's why you're going to sign it as an executive order. And it won't be a healthcare bill. It'll be a healthcare plan. And I'm going to guess it looks a lot like Romney Care at best.
So that'll be great. Paul Madden is a senior citizen who relies on insulin every day.
Thanks, Robert.
He was paying a fortune, everything, to get it. Paul?
Yeah, if I had $1 for every troll that's in here, whenever you guys see a troll, if you wanted to super chat every time somebody trolled me, that might quiet the room down, and that is not a crass, manipulative statement.
If you could, I think
Blame Robert. He put the idea in my head.
Paul's in the audience, and if you could
Thanks,
please
Robert.
come up and say a few words about your experience. Thank you, Paul.
And again, I'm going to skip past this guy because even if he's a Trump supporter, I have no problem. Although I will say they've got him standing in front of what looks like an open pharmaceutical, like behind the counter at a pharmacy. So you can what? Just raid shit? Okay, that's a glucose meter. Did they stack? Because some of those things are just empty. They're just.
So you can.
Unless they're filled with ice cubes. Those are car shield. Game over. That I recognize the glucose, the blood glucose meters, which are right up on the top. And then I think they got him some green Sudafed, so that's, Trump will be scooping that shit up as he leaves the room later. A couple of Trump bottles of water, Trump steaks.
That's better.
Mr. President, thank you so very much.
Thanks.
For this time to share a few key points supporting your leadership work, reducing the price of insulin and other diabetes-related medicines used by 34 Americans each day to live healthier, fuller lives.
34 Americans? Wait a minute. There has to be a shit ton more people using insulin every day than that. Can someone check me on this? Honestly.
As you heard, my name is Paul Madden. I'm a Bostonian.
Hi, Paul.
I have lived with insulin-dependent diabetes for 59 years. Beginning Medicare last year, I quickly realized that my ability to afford prescribed insulins that worked best for my health was no longer possible because of their excessive high price. Soaring costs have impacted the quality of my life. Remember that number, 34 million people with diabetes.
Okay, 34 million people. He just said 34, but that's okay. Thanks, Eileen. Again, this is what you would call a normal gaffe. These are the kind of gaffes that say, if he was Joe Biden speaking, there would be 2 hours of Fox programming. This guy's running for president, and he thinks that 34 people need insulin a day. Yeah. When in reality, yeah.
East.
All right. Again, I'm going to skip past him because even if he agrees with Trump and whatever, he's a regular citizen. I don't have a problem with him. This is reserved for taking the piss out of this nonsense. Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's actually brought it from many, many, many dollars, unaffordable by most people, to pennies, literally pennies a month. And I want to thank Seema. You worked so hard on that one. Seema, could you just say something about that? It was the price. Would you come up just for a second, Seema Verma, and just tell them about what we've done with respect to very badly needed insulin?
Great. Yeah, tell us all about insulin. And then explain to us why we expect the cost of insulin to go down to some degree because, most of the people who die of COVID are just going to die because they're old. So, I mean, really, does it really matter?
Well, the senior savings model that we developed under the president's leadership is going to reduce the cost of insulin to $35 a month for our seniors, and that represents a 66% savings.
Okay, and so how much has it gone up in the last 3 years? Because how much you want to bet it's gone up 45% or more in the last 3 years, and it's going to go down 66%. Because no one's buying anything, or because we're using the CARES Act to dump a bunch of money onto this. Okay, so those are just pill bottles, because that in a pharmacy, that's how you store pill bottles.
The vice president and I were traveling in Pennsylvania. We had a gentleman that came up to us and he
said, "Sir,
this is insulin," and he said,
and I said, "Excuse me, I'm a ma'am."
"You're going to save me $5,000."
You can tell because I'm wearing my undergarments outside of my
dollars a year. So, thank you, President Trump, for your leadership.
Thank you very much. Great job. That's a great job. Thank you.
Yeah. So insulin costs have doubled over a 5-year period, and now they're going to go down 64%. So we're basically, if this passes, and maybe it won't, and also it doesn't even start for another month. And that's if we don't work something out. And if they do, it's going to have to be legislated.
That's a tremendous...
Okay, again, we've got another one in the Facebook. Guys, I have to tell you this. The QAnon crowd, I got to tell you, if you're going to write use an apostrophe RE. It's just, especially if you're going to call me a moron. It's a small standard that I have. I don't ask much, but, I appreciate the eyeballs. I appreciate you, being here adding to my numbers. As a matter of fact, you should share me with all your weird QAnon friends who are anti-vaxxer until Trump asks you to line up behind a truck and get a shot from a stranger. But yeah, if you're going to write "you're a moron," YOU, do you have a pen? Or some crayons? Do they allow you sharp objects in the cell? YOU apostrophe RE. I'll wait. Apostrophe RE. A. And then moron is spelled with 2 O's. There's no A in either side of it. On either side of the R. I just want to clarify that. So can we move on? I just want to make sure, because I don't want you to embarrass yourself again.
That's a tremendous difference.
It's got to hurt. I mean, you swing and you miss that bad. Poof. That's a... Thanks, Holliberry.
We're also joined by Andrea Eccles, a dental hygienist from Brunswick, Maryland.
Thanks, Eileen. Yes, it is your, as in YOU apostrophe RE. You are. Is it the conjunction of, or the contraction of U and R? Just so if you're going to try to save time.
Andrea, please come up.
You might as well just write "you are." Save yourself the worry, because it sounds a lot more oomph. Anyways, it sounds like you're really saying "you are a moron." You know what I mean? I can almost hear you Karening you know, next to a rack full of People magazines and a Piggly Wiggly.
If you were,
thank you, Sherry. Thank you. Thank you, Eileen. This lady has definitely licked a glass door because she refuses to wear a mask.
Thank you, Mr. President.
I'm kidding. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna. Yeah.
With a over $15,000 medical debt, we're going way down. And
here we go. And he's gonna bring somebody else up.
It's really nice. I appreciate it. Some big difference. That's not a 1% or a 2%. That's big. That's big dollars. And I want to thank you both very much. Thank you very much. Today's actions continue my administration's relentless drive to deliver.
To teach me how to read without using my finger. Obviously a massive failure.
Health care at a lower cost. I signed an executive order to fight kidney disease. That was such a big thing. That was such a beautiful, important thing to do. With more transplants and better treatment, people with kidney disease go through hell. They go through hell. Their life is hell. And we've done a lot, and we're very proud of it. We've really seen some results that are incredible.
Like what? What are we buying Chinese kidneys from dissidents? Good God.
We dramatically expanded the telehealth for all American patients and families and
yeah, during a pandemic because we didn't want our doctors to die in mass.
Health in this
we had so many kidney-ish, there was lots of kidneying going on so many fronts of kidneying.
Pandemic era have been.
Oh, yes, thank you for the heads up about FaceTime.
Increased by, I would say thousands, like 1,020%. Incredible. It's been
1,020%?
Pandemic era have been, it's increased by, I would say thousands, like 1,020%. Incredible. It's been up.
Has anybody got a calculator that doesn't currently say boobs on it?
At a level that
we can work that out. 1,020%.
Never imagined, and it actually is very.
1,000%.
It's been something that has come out of the pandemic. One of the,
silver linings.
Good things that came out of it, frankly, is people are realizing how good that is. It really worked.
It really was a good pandemic. I mean, now that it's in the rearview mirror and we're not dealing with it anymore, it's so much better.
Well, we strongly defended Medicare and Social Security, and we'll always protect, and we have been protecting, and we'll always will protect Republicans, totally protect pre-existing conditions, very important. Nothing's.
How? How are you going to pay for it? Because I'm guessing you're going to need some. Thank you, Bob. Thanks very much. Ew.
What happened to your pre-existing protections?
Yeah, well then how are you going to pay for covering it? If you're still going to have private insurance, which I'm assuming you are, how do you subsidize it? Without a mandate or a tax raise?
Did the gag clause that
I bet Pence worked on that.
Prevented pharmaceuticals and pharmacists from telling patients how to buy less expensive drugs?
Thank you, William.
That if you went up to a pharmacist, is this a correct statement? It's not even believable.
Yeah, tell me the story. Sir, they walked up to me, they said, good God.
You couldn't talk about price.
Yeah, you don't haggle with a pharmacist. This is true. This isn't weed on a street corner, dumbass. You couldn't haggle with a pharmacist.
If the man or woman behind the counter started talking about price, what happens? You take the license away? This is not even believable.
Of course it's believable. Can you haggle at Target for the price of a box of cereal? What the shit are you talking about? Tell you what I'm going to do. Tell you what. You give me the shoes for $50. Wait. Like Trump's big idea is to turn our pharmaceutical industry and our medical system into a street market on a foreign bus tour.
So think of that. It prevented pharmacists from telling patients how to buy less expensive drugs. We have a less expensive drug that's just as good. I can't talk about it.
Yeah, they can say, talk to your doctor. And then you go get your doctor and he writes a prescription for the less expensive drug. Because there's reasons why they're less expensive, largely because of where they are produced. That's why a lot of that Pakistan-made hydroxychloroquine you bought is unusable.
They can't even say that.
Yeah, because they're a fucking pharmacist. Thanks, Dark Bay.
Why? Can you imagine these things?
Yes, I'm imagining it right now, and it seems reasonable, unless you're a complete psychopath.
We approved a record number of affordable, low-cost...
It's probably the middlemen making it all happen. They're shuffling. It's probably down behind the counter. The middlemen are down there behind the counter going, don't tell him. Cha-ching.
Generics. We've increased generics more than any administration by many times.
No, that's no way to talk about Mike Pence.
And many of the generics, I would say, from what I'm hearing, all of the generics, sometimes people want to see a label, but they say they're just as good as the...
Suddenly he's Rick Moranis in Ghostbusters.
others, except you pay a lot less money. We've increased them more than any administration, not even close, and we can...
Oh, because of bills passed before you got into office.
Insulin costs that we just discussed for many Medicare recipients and for a lot of other people at just $35 a month, and it was many times that, as you've just heard. Right to try, I talked about, so proud of it. Nothing matters more to me.
That's the government system. That's just more argument for a government healthcare system. That's the goofy part. We can, because it's Medicare, and we have huge buying power because of Medicare, are able to negotiate a price way lower for insulin. Yeah, exactly. That's why we've all been arguing for a public option, you dipshit.
The health and well-being of the American people. There's nothing more important to me.
Oh, yeah? Then maybe you should have thought about keeping the cops program that was put in after Ferguson that weeded out bad cops in police departments all over the country, and the pandemic response team in place, which spent $23 million a year to protect us from a pandemic, because the ultimate cost of one of them actually hitting the country really bad would be somewhere in the order of $8 trillion in 7 months. Maybe if you cared about the American people, you would think ahead, because here's the thing. As much as he might want to brag about what he thinks he's done, and he's done fuck all in this entire pandemic. He's just been a wrecking ball. It's nonsense. But in all the things that he might want to brag about, ventilators, we're the king of ventilators now, we sent a boat to New York, all that stuff. Understand, he's going to handle whatever the next emergency is just as badly. Like, we're just all Puerto Rico right now. That's what this is. Anybody he doesn't want to, like, accept as an equal American with him is just the island of Puerto Rico. We're all just Puerto Rico. Screw them.
With today's actions, we're ending decades of sellouts, betrayals, and broken promises from Washington. You've had a lot of broken promises. I would say exclusively broken.
Yeah, exclusively. No president has ever done anything they've actually said. Meanwhile, when is Mexico paying for the wall? When does that happen? When's the check from Mexico supposed to clear? Does anybody know?
We've had it. It's been uniform broken promises. We're putting patients
No, it hasn't.
over lobbyists, senior citizens before special.
Yeah, hold out for the scourge. This scourge, whatever you want to call it, it's got 50. Puerto Rico is an island. Agreed.
Interests, and we're putting America first. I'm putting America first. When you look at what...
Yeah, well, apparently America is second, right in line behind Mitch McConnell, who's standing at the counter wasting everyone's time.
With favored nations on the weeks in on August 25th. We'll see.
What was that?
See what they have to offer. But...
excuse me, 24th at noon. And not 12:01, and Alex is going to keep him honest. Did we all not just hear that? Did he not just say that? Am I losing my mind?
When you think about it, what are we doing? We're putting America first. When you hear other countries getting a much better deal on drugs.
Because they have a national health care service that buys in bulk.
Prices.
Yeah. Then if this is putting America first, then who has been wait for it, putting America second all these years. If whoever's for this is putting America first, if you're right, work with it, work with me on this. If whoever is wanting us to be able to negotiate drug prices down and buy them at the same bulk rate from companies the way other countries do and save our citizens money, if that means you're putting America first, then logically, cogito ergo sum, whoever was stopping that was not putting America first. Okay, so when you try to pass this as a bill to get it actually usable, keep an eye out for who blocks it.
There are people that have told me this is more important than healthcare. We're doing healthcare, but this
What do you think, this isn't healthcare?
is more important than anything. The price of drugs. They were getting slaughtered by drug prices.
Slaughtered by drug prices. So why didn't you, if you could just do this and give them a month and it's a moratorium, why did you wait 3.5 years? Thanks, Rebecca.
So thank you very much. I want to thank you all for being here. I'd like to ask, if I could, Alex, to come up, please. Secretary Azar to say a few words, and then I'll sign an executive order. I'd also like to ask the governor of Florida, Ron, you're going to come up and say a few words, and we'll sign up, and you'll go out and buy those drugs and save 50 or 60% for the people of Florida.
Because they're all old people, the ones that you're losing horribly right now because you went, most of the people who die from this, thank you, Christina F. I'm glad you could be with us 2 days in a row. All those old people, he was like, well, most of the people who die from COVID are old, you know what I mean? And everybody in Florida went, what the hell? And he went, we got to sign something that will bullshit them into thinking that cheaper drug prices are coming.
People will be joining you, and that's great. I want to let you will tell me how you do, and I
Oh yeah.
work on it really fast, because now with all of the media back here, you're under extraordinary pressure, and you never have pressure. One thing I'll tell you about Ron, Matt will tell you, he handles pressure well, and you're doing a great job. Thank you very much.
Yeah. How does he handle crises?
Please, Alex.
I don't care how he feels about shit. I honestly don't.
Well, Mr. President, thank you so much for your leadership.
Thank you for putting me in charge of the COVID response team, the task force, back in January. And after I fucked around for 8 weeks and blew it, and was telling you everything was going to be fine and requested half the money that we would need for this kind of thing and really just didn't take it seriously, demoting me and handing it over to Mike Pence, who knows even less about shit than I do. And I appreciate standing here now in front of 3 Billy bookshelves from IKEA filled with medical props. I feel like my school's putting on an episode of Grey's Anatomy, the debates.
Charged all of us with 4 goals: ending foreign free riding, improving how
foreign free riding. Free ride! Got a foreign free ride, yeah!
our federal programs pay for drugs, lowering out-of-pockets for our citizens, and getting list prices down.
How do you do that? Let me guess. By funding them through the government the way the other governments that you hate are doing, for reasons that everybody hates, right?
And you did your drug pricing blueprint in May of 2018. Before then, every single year there were massive drug price increases, massive price inflation. Since your drug pricing blueprint, that level of inflation has stopped. And that was...
Hold on. I'm almost done. I'm not done yet.
Well,
I have 10 more minutes.
Enough. I want more.
Okay, I'll call you as soon as I'm done. Love you.
Today, you're delivering the
Mom says hi.
importation. Presidents before you have promised over and over again to allow the safe importation of drugs from lower cost countries. You're the first president to deliver on it.
You bought a bunch of get out of here. He bought a bunch of hydroxychloroquine from Pakistan because he thought it would work. That's 100% of what he's doing.
to import.
Now you're trying to make this look good. You bought, what, 29 million doses or some nonsense?
You're going to have a personal importation program where individuals can get their drugs low cost from abroad.
Awesome. You can order your own fentanyl.
You're going to have an insulin reimportation program so Americans can get their insulin reimported from Canada at lower prices.
Why don't we make it here? I thought we were going to start making insulin here.
You're taking on the federal health centers. You're taking on the issue that they are getting radical discounts on insulin and EpiPens, and you're going to make sure low-income Americans get the benefit of those discounts.
They do.
And you're taking on the middlemen. $30 billion.
The middlemen. Hold on. Wait 1 second. I know I'm going to get in trouble for this, but give me a second. Wait, I'm going to look something up. Give me 1 second. Because this is what's stuck in my head right now. I'll find it. Might take a second. Hang in there. Don't worry. You guys are wonderful. Let's see. Yeah, there it is. This is what I keep thinking of every time he does this. Is it playing? Is it not playing? Wait. Back up. Can't just play whatever song you want. Did my headphones go out? Nope, it's not playing for some reason. That's weird. I've been blocked. It's terrible.
$1 a year of concealed kickbacks to middlemen are going to now flow to Medicare patients when they show up at the pharmacy, an average of 30% discounts and out-of-pockets when they show up at a pharmacy, thanks to the president's bold action. And we're going to end foreign free
Are you guys hearing this, or is it just me that's not hearing it? It looks. Oh, I know what it is.
Dramatic action to reduce the price of prescription drugs.
I'm doing this and skipping forward.
I incidentally ended up with all
I'm jumping forward to this.
Increase.
Mike, thank you very much. Thank you.
You're taking on the drug companies. You're taking on the middlemen. You're taking on the European socialists.
Thank you, Zach.
For the forgotten men and women of America who show up at a pharmacy counter. And for that, I am so proud of what you are doing today. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much.
So this is why I get stuck with this. Okay, so let me switch to this. Damn it. The page won't change. I get that hang up. Okay, hold. I'll be right there. Thanks, Gizank. It's my mom calling on FaceTime, hung everything up. So I can't change pages. Rats. Oh, I hate that. It usually will say, like, give me a warning that says, the streaming sucked. What happened? Something broke. Yeah, it's stuck. Damn it. I hate when it does that. Such a weird thing. This, like, weird glitch in Streamlabs OBS. That hangs up. Damn it. Okay. Well, we'll just, because there's a little bit of audio left in this. But I want to be able to change the page. And he basically just says, they bring up DeSantis, and then he signs it in front of a bunch of nurses. And he's got a box of pens. I feel like this is old radio. Damn it. They always lock up. I can't call my mom back. I'm going to do this. So here we go. Give me 1 second. I'm going to restart my software. I apologize. This will stop me for 1 second, but hopefully it'll come back up. 3, 2, 1.